Hey guys, welcome to an infocast. It's been about 2 weeks, a little more maybe. But anyways, today's episode is one of my favorite MMOs, my number one favorite MMO, and my main game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, it's the whole world of Warcraft, whether it's classic, retail, Season of Discovery, Lich King, you name it. But today I'm gonna hammer it the same way I hammered Destiny 2. And just to let everyone know that Destiny 2 episode, I was really surprised that it got the views it got and the comments and feedback. It was 50-50 about. It was some people liked it, some people hated my opinion for it. And again, this is someone who's been a big Destiny fan since 2014, and I've been playing on and off, like I mentioned before. But final shape, like I said, I'm not pre-ordering, but I don't know. I might get it. I might decide to pre-order before it comes out, but again, I might. Most likely, I'm leaning towards I'm not getting it, and I might get it later down the road, as well as the episodes. One good thing is you can play the episodes anytime, unlike the seasons. But I just don't want to get into that whole time constraint of trying to finish it, and it's just too much. And another thing that's become too much is World of Warcraft. Now, in the past with Shadowlands and I think all the way back in Legion, or maybe it was BFA, from BFA to Shadowlands, I was recording everything like quests and setting up the playlists and beating the story modes for the quests and doing the raid finder. Now, I haven't done normal or heroic for raids ever since original Wrath of the Lich King. Before it was classic, the original one in 2008, 2009. I did complete all those raids back then. I didn't complete heroic back then. I did all the normal up to the Lich King, and it was a challenge back then before the buffs. And eventually after the buffs, I still would beat it. Up until Cataclysm, that's when I was all out on raiding, and life got a little more busier, and mostly I was keeping up with the story, beating the raid finders and consuming the story mode. And then later on they incorporated with Warlords of Draenor, they incorporated the story into the quests and continued making quests a main factor of telling the story in WoW. And up until Dragonflight, they created like 5 or 6 different factions, 3 or 4 different islands. This is the most content, or the quickest content release in a WoW expansion that I've seen, where I have not been able to keep up. So I just exited, and 2023 was a crazy year for gaming, and there was just no time to keep up with Dragonflight's story and reputation. Building up that reputation, even though they made it easier, and I still have the feeling to go back and try and beat them all. But after completing the raid finder here, I've caught up, and I'm just ready for the next expansion. I got the story, I read the story online, and while it was good, I didn't get to experience it through the quest lines like I usually normally do, and that's just because of the overload of games. And of course, you've got 3 or 4 different WoWs. You got WoW Classic, which is the original WoW Classic, which I have a main character there, where I beat every raid. I got up to the beginning of Nax, where I need the rep, and that's where I stopped. And then you got World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore, which I just tried it out, but I will not be playing that because if my character dies after leveling him so high, I would just be really upset. I like to keep my characters. It's a reason why I don't like survival games where you die and lose all your stuff, or survival extraction games where when you die, or not when you die, when a new update or new season comes out, it gives you a wipe and you lose everything. It's the reason why I didn't continue Diablo 4 is because they have 2 different servers where all the new stuff is only on the season server, and all your retro stuff get moved over to the original server when no longer the season is available. So that's why I stopped that. But for World of Warcraft, yeah, I like to still go in. I like to experience all the dungeons possible, all the raids possible. I like that they release mythics into heroic, which makes it easy to queue up and play. Wrath of the Lich King Classic released their own version of mythics, which were called Titans. There was Alpha, Beta, and I think Delta, but they called it like Titan Rune Delta. Either way, I did all the alphas. I never got a chance to do the betas and deltas because, again, a lot of releases last year, and I still would like to do them, but I was unable to. And I did want to raid with Ice Crown, but Zexy Haas went ahead. He got heroic down and uploaded a few videos there, and something happened with the footage. He didn't get to finish the rest of the raid, or he did finish the rest of the raids, at least in normal. And heroic, I think he got up to what you see here. He may have beaten heroic. I haven't talked to him yet, but did not get the footage. It's still possible he may record it, he may not, but that might be a wrap for the Lich King Classic content. It's definitely a wrap for Dragonflight content. Normally, I just post some new mount content if there's any new mounts, because I'm constantly subscribed, so I get all those mount benefits anyways. And it usually happens if you're subscribed in for the next 6 months, you get them. Wrath of the Lich King Classic content, again, like I told you, I got up to Nax for the regular one, but for Season of Discovery, which is what I've been playing more recently, and these videos just went up today, so you can tell when I'm recording this. But I am almost level 25, so I'm about 5 levels there. But we're getting a new season, and that's where I should actually load the Blizzard app to load up that news really quickly. But we're getting a new season, it's the same Season of Discovery, it's just Phase 2. And I didn't get a chance to beat Phase 1's raid, so you can tell how fast everything feels to me. Back in the day, content just used to release so slowly, so it's good for current players nowadays who are looking for that content, or WoW only players, because they get their content really fast now. And I'm gonna get into retail on how fast that content is coming, because they already have it all planned out. But here you go. Phase 2 is going live on February 8th. Right now, I can tell you it is January 26th, Friday. My plan is to hit 25 and try to do the first Phase 1 raid. And if I don't get it, I guess I'll get it when Phase 2 is there, and if there's no players available, because Classic, it is much more difficult to find groups when there's no Raid Finder or Dungeon Finder queue. You have to do it the old way, spamming trade chat, LFG chat, /world, create a chat. So here's Phase 2, and we're going to be able to go up to level 40 from 25. I can guarantee I'm going to get to 25. The problem is I've only gotten one ruin. I've just been too lazy to look up all the other ruins, and I think at 25 I'm hoping it should be easier to find the rest of the ruins. So after I hit 25, I got to find all the ruins, and I'm a warlock, so I'm hoping I can tank the first raid that was released there. But it's going to go up to 40. They're adding 31 additional talent points, and then No More Gone is going to be the new raid dungeon. So really interesting. And it looks like, I don't know why that's a part of Classic. I guess they're just going into a different article. So that's all there is about it. What was Phase 1's raid? See, I don't even know, because I read it, but I haven't even done it yet. So here was Season 1. And let's look at the overview. Wowhead, an old school website, still relevant. Oh, okay, it was BFD, Black Fathom Deeps, which these were regular dungeons in retail and Classic, have now been brought up to becoming 10-man raids. And yeah, you can be a warlock, you can tank, You can be a mage, you can heal because you're getting new runes, and they're really helpful. It kind of feels like classic Lich King with a twist. Because it's classic with a twist, but I mean, like, the accessibility of it, the faster leveling. I think there's faster leveling. It feels fast. Every time I come on, I'm barely playing and I'm leveling up one level. But yeah, content is moving so quickly. We're getting phase 2 already. So that covers the WoW Classic Season of Discovery. And will I go back and play next on Classic? I don't think I'm going to end up doing it, but you never know. Maybe when Season of Discovery fully comes to an end, I'll go back to Classic Regular. It's really like, I don't know what they're going to do with it, because the developer said they're going to probably move them into their own tier server. So is that going to continue into like a BC Season of Discovery next, or what's going to happen there? Or is our character just going to go to regular Classic and no longer are they going to be used with the ruins? Now, the developer did say they're going to have its own sort of server, so that's not happening. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it will die out if Season of Discovery ends and then they just have you move to the server that's just not going to get any more updates. So, I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, I could see them going through BC and Lich King with all these and creating more and more ruins. But then how far do you go there? It's just, wow. I don't know. So moving on, The War Within got announced a while ago, and some nice cinematics here. I think they could have done more with the cinematic, honestly. They're just showing mostly the emotion of, shit, what is this guy's name again? Wow, I can't believe I forgot. He's next to he's the King Bolvar's son. How do I forget his name? Anduin, there we go. Bolvar. Or no, High Lord Bolvar was he's not a Bolvar. It's Anduin. Shit, man, it's been so long. He's the original king's son. Anduin. Wow. Anduin Ren. King Ren, yeah. Can't believe I forgot that. So, anyways, it's more focused on his story. Seems like he's at a loss. Thrall's coming there to comfort him. It's been a while, I think, since we've seen Thrall. So it's nice to have him back. I think he's still been NPCs running around, but I'm at like fully in a cutscene. I still would have preferred a better, more, I guess, seeing like the villain, the main villain of The War Within. But it hints at, hey, this is a sword. So this is where the filler part comes in for the title of this video. The filler within. And we're going to go down here. We're going to skip Season of Discovery because we already talked about it. Seeds of Renewal, that's coming. That's already out for Dragonflight. So you can go in there, and then we'll dive into Cataclysm in a sec. Oh, okay, this is all the news. Let me go to War Within. And here it is. So they're calling it the World of Warcraft World Soul Saga. So it's going to have the War Within, which I'm calling the filler within. And then Midnight, and then the Last Titan. The Last Titan. Titan? Depends how you say it. But anyways, World of Warcraft Midnight, I don't know. Is that going to be a filler too? It's possible. And the reason I say this is because if you go back to Cataclysm, or even before Cataclysm, let's go to Warcraft 3 Strategy and Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. And then move up to World of Warcraft, the Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So it always seemed like they're going backwards on the strategy games when bringing in these main villains, like the Lich King. And then when the Lich King died, and that was over with, they went to Cataclysm next, which was Deathwing from Warcraft 2. And then they told his story. So everyone assumed, okay, we're going to get Sargeras from Warcraft 1, the Titans and all that whole storyline. And I feel from Cataclysm all the way to Legion was all filler until we finally saw Sargeras in action in Legion, and they brought back Illidan and finally gave us that story mode. Now, they left that story on a cliffhanger. Some people said, "Oh, we got the full story," but no, we saw Illidan chasing off Sargeras, the sword get thrown, and then that's all we got. After we got Battle for Azeroth, we got Shadowlands, we got Dragonflight. So to me, the main storyline to me in the background is the big fight. It's Sargeras, it's Illidan, and to me, those are all filler. There's still good, enjoyable stories if you play the quest, and I know the people into the lore really enjoy them. So I'm not telling you that no, they're bad stories and they're all filler. What I mean by that is I'm here for the main action, the main villain, and I know WoW has tried to go away with that with Battle for Azeroth and then Shadowlands and Dragonflight. But WoW needs that cover photo main villain. That's what I feel. And when you go to World Soul Saga, you have 3 expansions that you already have planned. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because people are going to get content more frequently, and you never know. Maybe I talked to a friend of mine, and the thought is maybe the expansions release yearly, every year instead of every 2 years. I hope that's not the case, because you see with Call of Duty, when you get content every year, it starts to get stale. But WoW retail has done a great job with their mythics and rating. From all the other friends I hear that are saying it's much more challenging than what Classic was, but I just argue with them that we know all the fights with Classic now, that's why it's much easier. But again, I haven't rated in normal or heroic or mythic rating, so I can't speak on that. But yes, 3 expansions already announced. War Within, what war is it going to be? What's Midnight going to be about? When you say the last Titan, that tells me it's going to be about Sargeras. So whatever's happening in these 2 expansions is going to lead to the big bad guy, which is from Warcraft 1, is the big Sargeras that I've been waiting for to see come back. And, I know past Warcraft fans have said that they kill the character because they just bring them into a raid that we destroy and they're gone. Which I could definitely agree with, and I do agree with Arthas on that point of view. And they really destroyed Arthas in retail, especially in Shadowlands. Terrible story, in my opinion. They had a chance to change the timeline in Classic, but they never did a dual storyline timeline. They could have had something happen different with Arthas, and they could have had him stop the Cataclysm and branch off to a different timeline, but they decided not to. Instead, they want a new world-changing event that's going to happen in the War Within, and I think they're doing that so that they can continue their classics, and we'll get into how far are they going to go with that after we're done here with the War Within. So I don't know any information about these other than it's supposed to be 3. It kind of reminds me of sort of like they're doing like a Game of Thrones type of thing where it's a World Soul Saga where it's of ice and fire, and then they got their chapters here. That's kind of what seems like what they're trying to do here. Focus on storyline is always a plus for me when it comes to gaming in most type of games. Of course, gameplay first should always be the focus, but it's definitely a step in the right direction in my opinion. World of Warcraft, War Within, defend Azeroth from the shadows below. So it looks like we're going underground here. And this seems like the villain. I have no interest for this villain, but we'll see what her storyline is. And what was the sister's name that's supposed to be the main hero going up against her? Sylvanas' sister. I can't remember her name, but apparently she's going up against her. That's the main storyline, which again I have no interest for. I want to get back to the Titans. I want to get back to Illidan versus Sargeras, and he better kick our ass. It better not just be a raid that he gets beaten. It better go on to another 3. I don't care, but have him beat us. That's what Arthas should have been doing. But okay, so these are the new regions coming in the War Within. You got the Isle of Dorne, Western Shores of Pandaria, so it looks like it's going to be near Pandaria. You got the Ringing Deeps. Excuse me. And then you got Hollowfall. And then Kahet? Don't know how to pronounce that. But really interesting. So there's going to be 4 new regions. I think there's going to be another 8 dungeons I remember reading. Oh yeah, here, we'll get into it here. So new endgame pillar. Deep lies, treasure vaults. Some more ways to get loot, sounds like. War bands, account-wide alt system, expand potential. Oh, and that's another thing. I really liked how they, for Dragonflight, allow you to fly those dragons now quickly in all of Azeroth. Huge plus update that came out. Hero talents. That's interesting. I don't know what that's going to be about, but that sounds really good. Earthen, new playable allied race. Okay, nice. They've been adding so many races for both Horde and Alliance. I can't even keep up with them anymore. And I know they're in, what was it, Shadowlands? Or what was the one with Mechanar Island? Like, you had to beat those extra quests and get the rep just to unlock them. It's gone overwhelming for me. I can't do it anymore. So I'm just sticking to the classes I already have and the races I already have. And of course I play Alliance. One day I'll do Horde, one day we'll see, but if I do, it's going to be in Classic. I want the Classic experience, not the retail experience. Explore the stunning new zones. Okay, so you're going to be able to use your fast flying mounts from Dragonflight, it looks like, which is a huge plus. Now they kind of put themselves in a wall here, because now you got these flying mounts that are super fast, but we have this whole collection of older mounts that are slower. So why would we still use those older mounts? I guess because the cooldowns that these new mounts have, I don't know, but or just to show off our older mounts, or maybe to use them in dungeons, I don't know, but it seems like maybe older mounts might be irrelevant in the future, and then they're gonna start this whole line of buying newer, or they already started this new line, because I already got a few new after pre-ordering the War Within expansion. I already got these new Dragonflight mounts, so looks like, yeah, they got these new line of Dragonflight mounts that are going into the ecosystem on WoW shop. New dungeons and raids. Yep, like I said, 8 new dungeons, 1 challenging raid, Alliance and Horde. That was a huge plus that came to Dragonflight. I like that you can group up with Alliance and Horde and do dungeons. You can always get a group quickly, and that is beautiful. Alright, epic additions, and these are all the stuff. You can now buy character boosts. You can tell the easiness, but I mean Classic is doing this now. Lich King Classic and Cataclysm, not original. Original Classic, I'm glad they didn't touch. And if you really want to feel how it felt back then, you can go back and play that and see how long. Because here's the thing that I want to talk about. Yeah, level 70 character boost. Like, it only took like 8 hours total to hit max rank in Dragonflight if you played through the quest, unless you found quicker ways, like people were crafting and hitting in 2 hours or less. One huge factor about WoW for me was the leveling, the achievement of leveling, and it took so long. which this new generation seems to have an issue with. And I know Classic has it, but retail has lost that feeling. It's like, oh, here you level up your max rank, you got your max rank. It's almost like it's irrelevant nowadays, where they should, I don't want to say this, but they probably should get rid of the leveling system at this point and just start releasing expansions and new content and have it one level, because we're already at 70. We're going to get to 80 in Midnight and then 90 in the Titans. What was the Titan one called again? The Last Titan. So we're eventually going to get to 120 again here. So when we get to 120 again, are we going to have another... Are you going to downgrade the levels again or squish the levels? And then you got all these expansions you got to navigate through 60 levels again? It's like, I'm not understanding. So I think eventually they'll just get rid of the retail leveling system. And of course, just release expansions and new worlds and whatever. And this button is... Okay, it's still good. Hope I'm not too loud here. But yeah. So they need to solve the leveling system because it's become irrelevant, and like I'll really dislike it if they remove the leveling system. I don't know if I'll want the urge to come back and play other than seeing the raids. Like, I don't know. To me, leveling has always been something fun and challenging, but it's gone away with retail in the past, even 3 expansions, I'd say. I think they need to make it come back, and I do understand that it turns off new players coming late into an expansion, but it's happening again. It's raising again. And I mean, you have boosts. You still have these $60 boosts. And I guess it would still turn off new players that I'm not paying $60 and I'm not leveling up if it's going to take me another 2 full days, 48 hours to hit max. I don't know. I guess, yeah, keep it if they're going to keep it in Classic, but it's definitely deteriorated the nice feeling of hitting max rank of an expansion. Now I guess it's for all the hardcore players, it's getting the highest gear score level and getting to mythic raids and beating 5 out of 10 bosses or whatever it is, which is the most rewarding. And it always has been. It always has been that, hey, I beat this whole raid on this mode. But still, you could still brag that you went through the leveling system. And till this day, Original Classic is still one of the greatest achievements, hitting max rank. Unless you're a mage, just having your whole guild help you farm and level up as quick as possible. And even then, it's still long. But anyways, these are the additions. You got the base, the heroic, the epic edition. If you're a fan of WoW like I am, it's your main MMO. It's your one of your top 10 games of all time. You're going to get the epic edition. And you're going to always get the nice benefits from it. So, that leaves the War Within behind, or the filler within. And let's move into the filler classic, the Cataclysm Classic. We did not think it would go this far. We thought it was going to end in previous podcasts with me and Zexy Haas and Flying Ho. We thought it would end with the Lich King. And the reason for this is Cataclysm is the downfall of WoW. The downfall of 12 million subscribers. I think it was after patch 1 it started going downhill and downhill and downhill because everything became more accessible. And yeah, they did it. They're going with the Cataclysm. I don't know why. They had a chance to go with Lich King Classic, either stick with it and keep players there, or do a Classic Lich King Plus, change the timeline, Arthas become a good guy. Arthas fight off Deathwing, change the timelines, but no, we're continuing the same timeline. And the reason for this, my assumption, the main reason for this is because Blizzard is making money off of selling these epic upgrade editions. So noticeable features, new level cap. It's still gonna take long. New dungeons and raids. Yeah, they're all old. It's just remastered with New Days feeling. New dungeon difficulty. So now that is something new. The Titans we saw, the mythic, basically they're mythics, which is cool. They're coming back to it. Improved, rise to new heights of power, smoother and accelerated leveling system. Never mind of what I was saying. It should have stayed the same, in my opinion. If you want, see, the thing is with Classic, you're getting the Classic experience, but Blizzard has ruined that Classic experience, and they're making it so this generation can enjoy the Classic experience with accelerated leveling, as you see, and with the new interface that they're used to, and all that, and the account-wide stuff. I don't know what that's about. It looks like they're changing the auction house. But I want to just skip here because this is the reason why Blizzard is continuing these classics. And I don't know how far they're going to go, but obviously they're going to do Mist of Pandaria Classic because a lot of this new generation started with Mist of Pandaria. And then, what's it? Esmongold. I was watching his stream. It's one of the first times I'm watching his streams. And he was saying Warlords of Draenor was one of the best experiences for leveling and questing. And if that's what this new generation is thinking and believing, oh man, I'm out. I'm out of this generation because no. Hell no. The top 3 are Classic, BC, and Wrath of the Lich King when it comes to leveling and enjoying that experience. The casual experience starts at Cataclysm. And Warlords of Draenor was one of the worst expansions in history of expansions, in my opinion. They did right with the story. Okay, I agree, yeah, the cutscenes and all that, but no. Even they did nothing with the housing. The housing just died out with Warlords of Draenor because they didn't know what to do with it. So that guy's opinion, I don't know why he's so popular. I mean, I get why he's popular. He does have some interesting content. I was browsing through, but his opinion is that of this generation. I guess that's why he's so popular, but hell no, man. It is not one of the best expansion experiences in leveling, Warlords of Draenor. Hell no. Get out of here with that shit, man. But here we are. Game bundles. Blazing Epic upgrade. I'm guilty of getting the Blazing Epic upgrade, okay? But this is why I'm responsible for Blizzard continuing these classic experiences. And it's to sell. It's just to sell these packages. Like, it's free. Yeah, Cataclysm Classic is free and it's optional. And you don't have to do it. And of course, I like to keep Blizzard going and supporting Blizzard. But I'm so upset that they continued and didn't change the timeline. I'm hoping maybe they still change the timeline with Cataclysm. But come on. How far are you gonna go? Mist of Pandaria Classic, Warlords of Draenor Classic, and then you're gonna go back to Legion Classic. You know, there was huge fans with that, but come on. And then BFA Classic, and then back to Dragonflight Classic, because they're saying War Within is gonna change Azeroth again, like Cataclysm did. So I guess they wanna allow you to play in those 3 iterations. Classic, and then when the Cataclysm hit, and then now. But don't do it. Stop. Unless you're doing a Classic Plus and changing the timeline. Stop releasing these same Classic experiences just to sell your Epic Upgrade editions, because I don't know what I'm gonna call it on these. If they do Mist of Pandaria, I will go in and play that because I really enjoyed that as well. And a lot of people did quite well with Mist of Pandaria as well because the pandas. and the overpoweredness of PvP. I remember when it first launched, ridiculous with those heals. But yeah, I guess they're hero classes. That's why they did it. But anyways, what came after Mist? It was Warlords. If we get a Warlords of Draenor Classic, I am 100% out. Blizzard will not get my money. I will not be playing. And yeah, I'm done. Now if it goes Warlords and then continues Legion Classic, I'll think about it. But stop. Just stop, Blizzard. Don't do it. And yeah, that concludes the Classic, the WoW, the War Within. I'll be paying attention to this. I hope we get a really good storyline. And lastly, Warcraft Rumble. It's a mobile game, and I was surprised by how good it is. I haven't had a chance to play more than an hour, but I really enjoyed it, and I just want to recommend it. Hey guys, give it a try. It's easy to download, it's quick, and it's really fun. So yeah, that concludes this WoW infocast. Look forward to more infocasts. Look forward to other stuff. I don't know if this episode will be posted before our Game of the Year for 2023. It might, or for our anticipated. But look forward to DG Podcast coming back for Season 4 for a limited time for 2 episodes, maybe 4 total. 2 Game of the Year and anticipated in the beginning of the year and the end of the year. I'm planning some things for Flagship. I'm hoping to do a second episode. And Infocast coming back with more stuff, more things to talk about, more franchises. This is about the WoW franchise. And yeah, thanks for watching. Infocast out.